How's it going, everybody? DGZ23 and Bulletproof Bubbles back at you again with some more ceramic coating action. Today we got a classic edition. We got a 1996 Chevrolet Impala SS that's in pretty great condition that we're going to be working on for the days to come. This thing seems to be one of a kind. It's one of the last ones with a Corvette motor. This thing doesn't even have 30,000 miles. Looks like it's had a good life in a garage, but it still has plenty of work to be done. There's plenty of straight line scratches, swirls. I mean, the usual things are gonna be there. That's why we have Duraslick and vehicle protection these days to keep us from having to go through this over the time. So once we push through everything in our way to get from here to the end, this car will be stuck like glue. You know, it'll be trapped under the glass. It'll be looking great for years to come. And the interior is great too. We're gonna go inside, tidy it up, and we're gonna capture it with some ceramic coating too and freeze it for 2 years. So you guys definitely don't want to miss this. This is a one-of-a-kind car. This is a one-of-a-kind episode. So sit back and enjoy. Thanks, guys. Let's start with a little car scene investigation, as my mentor would say, which is an inspection just to check out the paint, see what type of defects may be present, and what it may take to correct them, or if they even could be corrected at all. And I wanted to start out under the tent so you guys can see how paint can appear to be in good shape, but it can really be hiding a lot of problems. Of course, in particular lighting or your distance from the vehicle, a car may appear to be looking really good. But once you get up and close and personal on it, you start to notice it's not as pretty as it seems. And even though this car only has 28,000 miles on it still has its share of swirls and scratches and everything else. It looks really good overall. I mean, it really does. I'm not trying to take away from the vehicle at all. But there have been, washing and drying issues, it seems to be, over the years. That's where you get the swirls and the scratches from, is you caught a glimpse of it there in the light. And back, in the shade, it's back looking good, like it's ready to go. But as we go through the car, you see things up close and personal with me, you'll see that there's a lot of work to be done. So I hope you guys enjoy watching it all get corrected and taken care of. So that you can see exactly what it is that I'm attacking, I wanted you to see it up close and personal, under a little lighting. As you see, there are consistent swirls all over this car. This is just a small area, but this is what it looks like all over. But as you see, it's all gone now. After a good pass with the polisher, it's looking pretty good. Paint has hazed up a bit, so I will come back with a second step to give it that extra gloss and clarity again. And this is another area of concern. This plastic trim has heavy oxidation all over it. It's going to take quite a bit of effort to remove it. As you all see, it looks tremendously better. Had to do quite a few passes with a couple of different tools, but I'm 98% there. I want to get everything in those cracks and crevices right in the middle. And I think we'll be good. Now, taking a look at the hood, you see that it's a little bit more significant than the sides. For a lot of obvious reasons, the top of your car takes more abuse. Down, you see that's a thing of the past. Thank goodness for the magic of the polisher. We're doing really good, making good progress. My process seems to be working, so I will continue until it's done. You remember those ugly, unsightly, spiderweb looking swirls and odd random defects in the paint? Well, yeah, they're gone. A thing of the past. No more of that stuff. Let's keep it moving, guys. Would you look at all of that heavy oxidation masking this mirror? It's a great example of heavy oxidation. You see how it looks really hazy and grainy all in that area? That's the oxidation laying on top of the paint. And down here is where I just started to cut through it down to the original paint. You can see how much clearer that is. So that's what happens to your paint. From out here, you can't even see that. You don't see it at all. But getting down up in here, you can see where the problem is. So we're trying to get this mirror totally like this, so it can look more like that. As you guys can see, after that initial pass, it really started to disturb the oxidation that was on there. A lot of it was blended in so well you couldn't even tell it was there. It was just real hazy. Now it's starting to get gummed up from me cutting on it, and you see it starting to show its color. But you can kind of tell under there there's some beautiful preserved paint. So I had to step it up, get a much more aggressive pad, much more aggressive compound, and now we're about to start cutting again. We'll see what happens next. This was after about 4 different passes. I ended up making a few more to clean up that last little bit right there, and it actually came out pretty good, but I really forgot to take a good film of it. I only got a 2-second snippet and a good still photo. She's coming together really well, everybody. I'm sure you have been enjoying the show. Let's finish up with these door handles, hit these wheels, and we can move on to the interior. How's it going, guys? I hope you all have been very entertained with this beautiful classic that we have been working on for days and days. Man, I mean, days upon days. We had every event possible happen in between. Rain outs, freeze outs, everything. But through it all, we kept pushing, we persevered through all the obstacles, working with the difficult GM paint, trying to get this thing as close to clear, like a mirror as I could. And I think I've achieved that. And I've been inside and tidied up the interior. So we are ready to protect this vehicle. We're going to start inside with the CarPro Reset, the CarPro Leather 2.0, and then we're going to move outside and put the DS1500 Extreme on it. So it won't be much longer to the reveal, guys. Just wait a little bit longer and you'll see what this thing's going to look like for years to come. All right. And just like that, it's all done, guys. As you see, she is crystal clear. Man, I put a lot of effort into this, but I am so proud of every bit of it. It took a lot of days, a lot of effort, a lot of time, but this car is gonna last even longer. We did a full 2-step paint correction. Some areas took 3 and 4 steps, but we got it done. We went inside and protected the leather for 2 years. The wheels are polished, they're coated also. The windshield is polished. The headlights and the tail lights are polished. This car is armored up and ready for whatever. With this car already being such a rarity, the value is pretty significant. And what we have done this past week has increased it that much more. Then again, if you get a hold of something like this, who actually wants to sell it?
피냐콜라다 아코세페 너의 피부색처럼 drip해 지금 내 핸드폰에 비친 오니 모습에 나는 drip해 나는 drip해 피냐콜라다 아코세페
Look at the beauty, guys. You guys just don't know how much blood, sweat, and tears I put into this job. I put my all into this 96 Impala SS, 28,000 miles. Only had one owner. Everything's original. It's totally unbelievable. I shined it like no other and captured it for 10 years, guys. Bulletproof Bubbles signing out.